or welcome to my channel. So I got this idea like 2 days ago, obviously new year, new books, and I started putting my books out to film this video, and I told myself, Lisa, you have a problem. Why do I have so many unread books? These are only the books that I have. I still have a lot that I want to buy to read this year. Buying books and reading books are two different hobbies. First off, we have the Hunger Games series. I have wanted to read this for a while now because someone gifted me the first book and then I thrifted the last two. I watched the movies and I really liked it, and I also want to read it just because it's such, a famous YA dystopian series. But yeah, I really want to read it. I'm like halfway through the first book. Next up, we have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is such a famous YA fantasy. It got pretty famous on Book Talk, and I've had it for like a good year, I think. And I started reading it multiple times, and I couldn't get into it because I thought it was a romance, and it's not. It's more like political, and that's not really my thing. I'm not really comfortable reading fantasy, but this year I want to expand my horizons and read books out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to try to read this book, and I heard from Haley Pham, she's a YouTuber who talks about books, that the first book isn't very good, but the last two are, so I want to try to get to those. Then we have The Maze Runner, again, another really famous book, YA dystopian, I think, and I'm just going to say this, I haven't taken out the sticker from Target, but I'm scared that it will, stick to the book. I hate those stickers. Anyways. I have the first book. It was gifted to me, and I haven't read it just because, look at that, the font is small, and for some reason, small font terrifies me. If I see a book with small font, I just won't read it because I think it will be longer and harder to read. So, yeah, I have to just get started with this book. Next, we have the Red Queen series. These are the next three books because I read the first book, Red Queen, and honestly, I didn't really like it. But a lot of people online didn't like the first book, and they said the second book is really hard to get through, and you have to push through, and then the next two books are good. I don't know. I bought the whole series without even reading the first book, so now I kind of want to read the whole series just because I have it. But, I don't know. I started this book, again, multiple times and just never finished it. So, yeah, I just really want to get through it this year. Then we have Spare by Harry. Sorry, my bad. Prince Harry. Who's Prince Harry? Wait. Sorry, Prince Harry. Well, when I thought about filming this, 2 days ago, I didn't have this book. But then I went to Costco with my dad and my sister, and I saw this, and I was like, I need to have it, because I love The Crown on Netflix, the show about the British family, and I was like, I need to read it, and now I have it. I started reading, I only read like a chapter of it, and it was like so poetic. Like, let me read you this line that I read, and I was like, what kind of poems are these? I told myself not to think about that, to think instead about the pleading crunch of our footsteps, and the way our words flew away like wisps of smoke on the wind. Like, okay, did Prince Harry want to be a poet when he was younger? I don't know. I just really want to read this book. I finished The Crown on Netflix like 3 days ago, and we really liked it, and we can't wait for the 6th season. Then we have Little Woman, the second book, Good Wives. I read the first book. Well, this is a classic. So I read the first book a couple years ago when I wasn't really into reading, and I don't have it anymore. I kind of want to reread it, but I do know what the story's about, so I just want to go ahead and read the second book since I have it, and such a famous series, and I want to watch the movies again. Then we have The Tiger Rising by Kate DiCamillo. So I read this book when I was, I think, in 3rd or 4th grade. My teacher read it to me in school. And I have like a bit of memory of this book. I remember this feeling like it was this big. In reality, it's so short. It's like 120 pages. And I just want to reread it. I have no idea where this book came from. Like, half these books that I have here, I have no idea how they got to my bookshelf. They're just kind of there. But I just want to kind of, I don't know, remind myself of when I was in elementary school. I feel like this book had probably like a second meaning that I didn't understand as a kid. Then we have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I thrifted this book because I saw that it was in Reese's Book Club, so I thought it was going to be really good. And, well, I haven't started it because, again, a small font. And the small fonts, they just scare me away from books. And Reese Witherspoon liked it, so if it's in her book club, it might be good. Then we have The Arrival of the Phoenix Files. I thrifted this series as well, and I went in and there were like all 5 books. I think there's more, like 6 or 7. I'm not sure. I've never heard of this series online. I kind of looked it up and I didn't really see anybody talk about it. I think it's about this kid who his parents split up. They moved to Phoenix, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And then he finds out that someone is trying to I guess wipe the human race off Earth. So he has 100 days until the end of the world, and I'm guessing he's going to try to save the world or something. I'm not sure if he tries like the same mission on all 5 books, or if each book is its like separate thing. I don't know. I'm going to try to read it. It seems like a pretty easy read. I mean, the font is big, so I'm pretty sure it's a YA series too. Then I have The Alchemist, I think that's how you say it, The Secrets of the Immortal by Nicholas. Oh wait, no, it's The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flatton by Michael Scott, my bad. I got this book for Christmas, so if you think about it, I haven't had it on my bookshelf a while, so you can't blame me for not reading it yet. And it's an ancient book is lost. The modern world could be ripped apart at the seams. I'm not sure what this book is about, honestly. I don't know. I guess an ancient book is lost. I do want to read it though. I love the cover, and I looked it up online, and I saw it's a whole series, and a lot of people loved it, and they said it's YA, it's easy to read, so I'm going to try to read it. Then, I got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah, I like to read, and I haven't read Harry Potter or watched any of the movies. Yeah, hard to believe that people who like reading haven't read it. It just wasn't something I really read when I was younger, or my parents read to me. I got the first book like 2 years ago when I started reading. I didn't actually buy it. I had a teacher in my old school who knew I liked reading, so he bought the first book for me. He was so nice. Mr. Joe, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry that I haven't finished this book. I read half of it and then just kind of got bored and never finished it. I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans, that I got bored. But I started reading it a little bit a couple days ago, and it seemed interesting, so maybe my taste in books changed, and obviously it's been 2 years. And I really want to watch the movies, just because they're so famous, so I'm going to try to read this book. Then I also have the second book to Harry Potter, which is The Chamber of Secrets, and the 4th book, because these 2 are thrifted. Yeah, if I finish that one, the first book, I'll read the second one, and maybe buy the 3rd one so I can read the 4th one. Also, the 4th one, she's thick. It's thick. Yeah, I just have these. Am I the only one who buys books ahead of the series? Like, I buy the first book and then like the 3rd, 4th book when I didn't have a second one. Just because I find it at a thrift store, and I'm like, maybe later on I'll find the second one, but maybe I'll never find the 4th one again. So then I'll buy it. I don't even like the series, and I just have like the first book of the series and then like the 4th one and nothing in between. But yeah, I just do that all the time. Then another book I got for Christmas is The City of Ember, and by Jean Duprow, I think. I don't know what this book is about. So I just read the back, the description, and honestly I still didn't get it, but it's about this, I think, girl Lena, and then this guy Dune, and she wants to be a messenger, but she's sent to work in underground tunnels, and then Dune draws out that he's going to be a messenger, so he asks Lena to trade because he wants to be underground and Lena doesn't, and then something happens where something breaks and something, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to read this here. It seems interesting. I haven't read the back yet. Another series I want to read is Twilight. I also started this a year ago, I think, and I read 260 pages and then got bored. I did watch the movie around January of last year because they were taking them off Netflix. And I have the clips as well, but I think this is the 3rd book. I thrifted this one and don't even have the 2nd book. I always do it. I buy books ahead when I haven't read the first book to know if I'm going to like the series. Then we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is the fifth book to the Percy Jackson series. I really like the Percy Jackson series. I'm so excited for the show coming in 2024, I think. I think it will come fast, okay? 2024 is only a year away, which is insane to think about. But I read, how many pages? I read 130 pages of this book, and then I left it, but just because I made the mistake of reading the first book, then the second, the third, without books in between, so I think I got a little bored of the world and the characters. But I did start tabbing it, because that was like, I was in a phase where I tabbed all my books, and I might tab some books this year, because I still have a lot of tabs. So, I want to finish that series, the Percy Jackson one, so that I can get to the Heroes of Olympus series. I really want to get to this because I've heard it's really good. So, and I would have to have the first book, but then I did hear the first book is like hard to get through. And I'm really bad at getting through books when they're boring. If a book is boring, I will stop reading it. I can't push through it, or it will take me like a year to push through a book, or I just straight up won't read it. But anyways, those are two books that I had to read from the Percy Jackson world. I have The Bride of Stars in the North, to the Pirates of the Caribbean book. It's The Adventures of Karina Smith. It's a pretty short book. I think it's more like a kid's book. It's 225 pages. I've had this book for years. I did read it already, but it was more when I wasn't really into reading. I remember some pages, like I kind of like the sense of the story. It's about this girl Karina, who she's an orphan, and she has always wanted to study the stars, and her father left her like this diary of an astronomer, Galileo Galilei. I remember liking it, and since it's kind of short, again, I thought it was going to be a good book to read in between long books, to maybe have something easy to read, something fun. Don't laugh at me for this book. But now I have the originals. Why do I have this book? Why? Actually, I know why. My parents were at a thrift store one day, and they told me, oh, we saw the originals, because I was watching the Vampire Diaries during that time, and they knew I was liking it, so they were like, I found this, and it's not like the people from that show you like to watch. Do you want the book? And I was like, yeah, totally. And then I never read it. I didn't finish the Vampire Diaries, and I didn't start the originals either. I kind of gave up on it, just because I don't like watching shows by myself. Am I the only one? I get bored. When I can't comment about it, I love commenting on shows and movies, and when I can't comment, I just get bored. Like, I can't talk to anybody about it, and obviously, I mean, I could just talk about it, but then it would be kind of crazy, me just talking to myself. She says, as she talks to a camera alone in her room to post on YouTube. But anyways, I just want to read this book. I don't know. Then I have Artemis Fowl by Ian Colfer. This book, it might be like Greek mythology, maybe. It's about, oh, okay, no, not Greek mythology. I don't think so. It's about a 12-year-old Artemis Fowl is a millionaire, a genius, and above all, a criminal mastermind. But even Artemis doesn't know what he's taken on when he kidnaps a fairy, Captain Holly Short of the Lepcron unit. These aren't the fairies of bedtime stories. They're dangerous, full of unexpected twists and turns. Artemis Fowl is a riveting, magical adventure. I, again, don't know where I got this book. It's just kind of been on my bookshelf for years. It also isn't very long. It's about, I think, 280 pages. Then I have Kiss of Appetite by David Arnold. This is my sister's book. So she got it, I think, at school. She was reading it, and she hates reading. My sister and I are opposites. You will never see her reading a book. If you see her reading a book, be concerned. I think it's about like a mystery, maybe? It might be a mystery. I don't know. Victor and Madeline have a story to tell. It begins with the death of Vic's father and ends with the murder of Matt's uncle. The Hackensack police would very much like to hear it, but in order to tell their story, Vic and Matt must focus on all the chapters in between. And I think I might have started this book, and oh my goodness, look at this. This is so cute. You guys, it's up to October 31st, 2015. Will you look at that? It's me, my mom, and my sister. Look at little me. I was so cute. Anyways, I'm going to keep this, hang it up somewhere. I don't know why I was putting that in a book. I remember starting it, and I think it shows like interviews and stuff they have with the police, I think. So, hello again. Here's the thing. Fun fact, funny story. I finished filming this video, and then I went to check the camera to see how it turned out, and it said my storage was full. So basically, like halfway through filming my video, my camera stopped filming, and I was just basically talking to nothing at all. And it wasn't filmed, so now I have to refilm like half the video. But it's okay. But guess what? It gets even funnier because then I went to fix it. I deleted some things to have more storage, and I filmed the other part of the video again. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go check just in case. And I went to check, and the same thing happened, and I was only able to film like 20 seconds. So basically, I have done this next part of the video twice. This will be the third time doing it, so really hope third time's the charm. And if not, then I will give you half a video. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. Really fun. But yeah, enjoy this next part knowing that it's the third time I filmed it. So, basically, the first two times that this was cut, I was talking about The Tender Years by Janet Oak. And basically, it's about this girl, Georgia. No, never mind, Virginia, my bad. Still a state, close. Virginia, who is just kind of struggling with life, expectations. And then there's this new girl, Jenny, who is just like this perfect girl that Virginia wants to be. She's pretty, she's like daring, and she has freedom. And then comes a day that neither girl will ever forget. And then it's just Virginia's story, I guess. Like, I don't know if her life story, I don't know. And I have the first book, it's The Tender Years, and then I have the third book, which is A Quiet Strength, and I don't have a second book, but if I like the first book after reading it, I will try to find the second book, read it, and then read the third book. But yeah, that's basically what I was talking about. Two other books from the same author. It's called The Sacred Shore by Janet Oak. Oh, and T. Davis Bunn. And these books, I don't think they're connected with the other series, but I think they're individual. But I have the second book and the third book. I don't have the first one, so I'm not really planning on reading it anytime soon because, again, don't have the first book to start the series off. I'm not really sure what this is about since I don't have the first book, but I don't think I said this yet, but these were given to me last Christmas by my parents, Christmas 2021. And I feel bad that I haven't read them yet. So I will try to make this year the year I read these books. Then, you know what? I'm going to stand up and go check the camera because I'm so scared that it stopped filming again. So I'm going to go check. So I checked. You're still filming. It's all fine. There might have been some books I haven't talked about yet. Where are they? Okay, I lost the series. There you go. I found it. These are 3 books. They're not, I don't think they're a series, but they're by the same author. And it's John Grisham, and he wrote The Runaway Jury, The Summons, and The Pelican Brief. I got these at a little free library as well. And I'm not really sure what they're about, honestly. I think some of them might be a little mystery. I don't think they're YA. But I don't know. They look interesting and they look really cute on my shelf. If I don't end up reading them, they look good on my shelf. I think the Pelican Brief, also, this is the large print edition. Look at these. Look at how big this text is. Do you guys see that? It's humongous. I just love that. And I'm pretty sure the Pelican Brief, it might be a movie, and if not, it's a pretty famous book, maybe. I've never heard of it, but my dad said it was pretty famous. I don't know. It might be. I have, well, this whole stack. They're not connected. I just put them up here. Next up, I have Home for the Holidays by Joanna Lindsay. I started reading this, well, you can see the bookmark. I got like 50 pages in for Christmas because I'm pretty sure it takes place during Christmas.
and I liked it. It's pretty short as well. I think it's like 240 pages, and I liked it, but I don't know. I was in between other books, and Christmas is really busy for me, so I didn't have time to read it. I might save it for this year, maybe reading it. Then I have Jacob Have I Loved by Catherine Patterson. And this is about Louise Bradshaw, and she has her twin sister Caroline, and Caroline has always been the prettier twin, the better daughter, the talented one, and Caroline took everything away from Louise, her friends, her parents' love, her dreams for the future, and now Louise just wants to be the special one for once, and in order to do that, she has to figure out who she is and a way to get out of her sister's shadow. It sounds interesting. I've had this for a couple years. It's one of those books that I'm not sure how it got into my bookshelf. Someone might have given it to me. I might have bought it. I have no idea. It's just been on my bookshelf forever, and I never picked it up, but it also has pretty big writing on it, so it'll probably be maybe easy to read. So I'm kind of looking forward to this year. So then I have Sisters of the Sword by Maya Snow. This book is about two sisters, who become samurais. I think I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. My pronunciation isn't always the best. But anyways, betrayal just completely changes their life. An uncle murders their father, and their brother and mother go missing. They dress up as guys to go into this samurai training school and just kind of learn how to be one. Well, that is it for today's video. Those are all the books that I want to read in 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and just like and subscribe and go follow my other socials. I have TikTok and Instagram. Have a great day and go read!